hear me. Okay, good evening, guys.
Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Wherever you're listening or watching from, I greet you once again. Good evening. Well, if you're in a place where you're in the morning, good morning. If you're in a place where you're in the afternoon, good afternoon. If you're in a place where you're in the night, like deep in the night, well, good night as well. All right. So if you can hear me clearly, let's start with that. Give me a thumbs up so that I'm sure that everyone can hear me. Okay, that's perfect. But that's just like a handful of persons though. And I would love to hear from everyone possible. So Olakunle Babatunde, Benjamin Sedi, Ahmad Mohammed Lawan, Abe Onyeka. Okay, great. George, I can see your comment already. All right, nice one. Thank you very much. So just a few housekeeping. Okay, thank you, Olakunle. Just a few housekeeping, nothing too serious. Just to warn you ahead, just to like give you a heads up as we go in. I will be asking a lot of questions, and I would also be requiring, a lot of communication and interaction with everyone on the call this evening. So you want to get ready, you want to sit tight, you want to make sure that you have no distractions, you want to ensure that you're in a place where there is less noise so that you can hear every bit of information that needs to go out or that is going to be shared this evening, because the reason why I am here and the reason why Nebiant Analytics is right here on your screen this evening is just basically because of you, right? The reason why we are here is just because of you. So we don't have any other thing to do than to ensure that you have the best tech education possible. All right. So if you're ready, let's use that as a test. If you're ready for us to commence the session, your laptop ready, your data internet-wise, you're ready, and all of that, just give me a thumbs up again, and then we will proceed. Just give me a thumbs up. Good. All right. All right. All right. Okay. All right. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so we will move straight into it. Let me start with sharing my screen. Let me start with sharing my screen. Okay, so if you can see my screen, kindly just give me a thumbs up. I need to be sure that everyone can see my screen. You can see it clearly as well. Okay, how many people can see my screen actually? Okay, good, good. So this is what we're here for today. This is why we are here as well. Basically to learn exploratory data analysis with Python, right? Exploratory data analysis with Python. Okay, and I mean, what it just simply means, let me not even go too far. exploratory data analysis. Okay, I would explain that, but let me quickly go through the first part of my slides. Okay, what we have to do tonight is not too much, just about let's say three different items highlighted, and then we are good for the evening. So the first thing is about Nebient Analytics. Who or what, all right, is Nebient Analytics, or what organization is Nebient Analytics? Is it just a group of people coming together who just feel like they can, barge in on people's, DMs, add them to a group, and then start talking stuff, with no aim or purpose? Actually, that's not the case. As a matter of fact, the case is simply that Nebient Analytics was born out of the need, out of the desire, out of the necessity, right, to provide premium tech education for Africans. So majorly, our target market, as far as Nebient Analytics is concerned, is majorly Africans. And why is it so? It's just very simple. We know that Africans are very skilled people, very, very skilled. Everything or anything at all you ask an African to do, or a Black person, as the case may be, to do, all you need to do is just show. Okay, once you show an African man or a Black person something, they have the ability to replicate it much more better than even the person that showed them, how to get it done. Now, but the question is, when we talk about tech, when we talk about data skills, data science, especially, you don't really have much of Africans dominating that space. And the simple the reason is simple and obvious, which is the fact that there are no premium tech educations to really show Africans how to get these things done so that we can dominate that field. All right, that's the reason why Nebient Analytics, exists. Wherever, whenever, all right, you hear Nebient Analytics, one thing should come to mind. And what is that one thing? Raising the top 1% tech talents in Africa. Raising the top 1% tech talents in Africa. We want to show you, give you premium tech training, premium tech education, to make sure that you are part of the top 1% tech talents in Africa. So when global brands, when global organizations are looking for skilled professionals to hire, all right, we want to ensure that Africans are also dominating that sphere, or that space. So it's not just the whites, doing things because they have access to everything. All right. So Nebient Analytics basically is just here to provide that premium education, for everybody, for everyone. And right here on this slide, what I have, if you can see my screen moving, just give me a thumbs up. I need to be sure. Okay, good. Okay, so right here, we have our CEO and COO in person of Mrs. Lemuel Yole Dior, and the COO in person of Mr. Mohammed Suleiman. I mean, these are two brilliant minds that have, transitioned into tech from different fields. So the question you are probably asking is, I work in a bank, or I work in the education sector, I'm a teacher, I'm a tutor, maybe I'm just a business person, and this whole tech thing, how do we come about it? Where do we get started and all of that? Well, that's why we're here. We're here to answer those questions. Number one, we're also here to tell you that you're not the only one who is in that space, or who is in that particular field or phase of life. Mr. Muhammad right here transitioned into tech from being a mechanical engineer. Mrs. Lemuel right here transitioned into becoming a business analyst from studying fine arts as a first degree. But today, as you can see from the short bio that we have, she has, served clients across the UK, across the US, Canada, Nigeria, South Africa, and Ghana, and still counting. The same thing with Mohammed as well. So your background is not one of the first factors to put in mind, all right, when you are talking about tech, when you are thinking or considering transitioning into tech. Put your background aside. What you need is the skill itself. What you need is the skill itself. And right there, I am my humble self. My name is Samuel Odafe. I'm an experienced tutor and a data analytics and data science expert. I have spent the past 10 years, over the past decade, teaching, and tutoring, mentoring people, across different fields. Okay, today I am a data analyst with Biesdorf Nivier. All right. And why am I here? I'm here basically to do the same thing that I have spent the past 10 years doing, which is to show, to tell, to reveal, all right, to open your eyes to see that what you're dreaming about is actually very, very possible. What you're dreaming about is very, very possible. All right. And over there, you have the link to my LinkedIn account. So you want to probably connect with me later on LinkedIn. You have a few questions, you want to ask, maybe from this session or from any other session at all. I mean, you can just click on that link. Now, the question you are now going to ask me is, how do we get the link, all right, to connect with you on LinkedIn? It's just very simple. All you need to do, just one step, all right, just one step, and then you have my connect on LinkedIn. The first thing you want to do is basically to fill in a form that is going to be posted by my colleague on the call. All right, my colleague is right here on the call in person of Abdul Mumin. He would send a link, all right? He will share a link to a form, more like an attendance form. Now, why are you filling that form? Why are you filling that form? It's just very simple. Everything we do, that we try to achieve also here at Nebiant Analytics is just very, very simple. So why are you filling that form? You're filling that form basically so that you can have access to three things. All right, so that you can have access to what? To three things. Number one, you're going to have access to my slide for this session. Okay. Number two, you're going to have access to the recording for this session. So everything we're going to teach, everything we're going to learn, you're going to have the session is already recorded. So you're going to have access to the video for the recording. And then thirdly, you're also going to have access to the data sets that we're going to be using, all right, for this session. So filling the attendance form, for this session basically gives you access to the slides, access to the video recording, and also to the data sets that we would use in this session. So you don't want to miss out on that while my colleague Abdul Momin posts the link for the attendance. Please ensure to fill it up, okay? Ensure to fill it up. Now, so what are we doing today? What are we doing today? What we want to do basically is just simple. We want to try to, sorry, that was an error. We want to do exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis, it's usually called EDA. Number two, we'll share some success stories, okay, from our programs. Yeah, so that you would see that it's not, like I said before, it's not just about some people who are just interested in, wasting people's time and coming online and making noise and all of that. And then thirdly, I will be giving you a special offer, but the special offer will be for those that stay up until the end of this call. So anyone and everyone that stays till the end of this call, get access to my special offer. Okay, a simple offer that I will be offering everybody, but all you need to do is to wait till the end of the session. Of course, it's something that you're going to love. It's Python, it's coding, basically, it's programming. So I mean, you're definitely going to love it. And like I said, it's going to be an interactive session. So while I ask questions, probably give a reaction, or I ask a question and I expect you that you would probably type in the chat section so that I would see your responses and then we can interact, learn, all right, together. Like I always tell people, when you learn, or the places, if you are going to track back and think back, the places where you learned the most valuable lessons that stuck with you, you know, throughout time, are those places where you are able to interact. All right, those places where you are able to interact, where you are free to speak, where you are free to ask questions, those are the places where you learn some very, very valuable lesson, and you don't easily forget them. Easily forget them. So yeah, let's just go straight into what we have for today. We have a case study for today, all right, as you can see, and then we're just quickly going to discuss everything one after the other. Right here, I have the data set for this evening's session, right? I have the data set for this evening's session. So I'm just quickly going to start with the data set. We will discuss what we want to achieve with the data set. We'll then also look at what is exploratory data analysis and how do you carry out exploratory data analysis. So first of all, welcome once again to this session. All right, welcome once again to this session. So just give me a second to fetch out the data set. Yes, I will do that now. I will do that now. So I'm trying to get access to the Google Drive where the data set is stored or saved. Okay. So it's in the chat section now. I just posted it. I think the network is a bit slow, so you just need to okay, so it's already in the chat section now. So please, you want to check the comments or the chat section. Excuse me for a second. All right, so that's the link to the data set. All you need to do is basically to click on the link. It takes you to, let me just show you what happens once you click on the link. All right. I'm waiting for my screen to load. It seemed to the network seemed to be acting up. So what you want to do, for those that are just joining, please, I just shared the link to the data sets we'll be using this evening for this class in the chat section right here. So please ensure that you click this link. Once you click that link, it takes you here, all right, to this Google Drive. It takes you here. Then once you are here, what you want to do is click on File and then click on Download. Go to Download and click Microsoft Excel. Once you click the link in the comment section that I posted for the data set we want to use today, it brings you to these Google Sheets, right? And then what you want to do is click on File. Once you click on File, scroll down to Download, and then click Microsoft Excel. Click Microsoft Excel, right? So once you do that, you get access to the data set for this evening, right? You get access to the data set for this evening. Now, the next thing that we want to see is our workspace, where we are going to be doing everything that we are supposed to do, you know, for this class, where we're supposed to see everything, okay? So basically, where we are working on for this evening to achieve all our tasks in exploratory data analysis using Python is called Google Colab. All right, it's called Google Colab. It's called Google Colab. So the first thing I want to do is open a new tab in my browser. Open a new tab in my browser to take me to Google Colab. Then what I want to do next is type Google Colab. The next thing I want to do is type Google Colab. Type Google Colab. So after typing, I hit the enter button and it brings me here where Google does the searching. Please, can you see my screen moving? Can you see my screen? Can you hear me clearly? Are you following? If you are, please interact with me. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. George. All right, Benjamin. Nice one. Great. All right. Please resend the link to the data set. Okay, please, you want to check the comment section. I just sent it to the comments. If you can't see it, I think Abdul Mumin should be able to assist you with resharing the link. So once we are here on Google Colab, if you didn't get it after like a minute or two, please message me again. I'll reshare. So once we are here, you want to click on Google Colab, which is the link to where we are, what we want to do for today. Click on Google Colab, and then it loads. So what you want to click on is right here, New Notebook. New Notebook. Right? So I click on New Notebook there. It's loading. Okay, so once I click on New Notebook, this is what I'm going to have. So if you have this on your screen, yours might be white. I choose black theme. I just love black as a person. So yours might be white, but it's still the same interface. Everything is there, pretty much the same. So if you are here, just type in the comments, type done. If you are here where I am at the moment, type in the comments, type done. Good, George. Okay, it's just George's comment that we have. If you are here, just type done. Any other person who's done, who's at this same stage, at the same point where we are, please type done once you are here. Okay, Ahmad Mohammed. Good. Any other person is here as well? Okay, we're waiting so that we don't take too much time. So one thing I'll try to do, I'll try as much as possible not to type all the codes so that we don't waste time for this evening. Anyways, let's go straight to it. What we said we are learning today is exploratory data analysis. Exploratory, emphasis on the word exploratory. Emphasis on the word exploratory. What is exploratory? If you have a son, yeah, and you buy a new toy, or let's not even say a son, if you are as you are presently as an adult, if you are to buy a car, one of the things that you want to do is check every part, every single part of that car before you pay for it, right? Another example, if you're new or a tourist, for example, what do tourists do? What is the job of a tourist? The primary job of a tourist is to explore different places, different cities. What are they doing when they explore? They are checking the features, they are checking the characteristics, they are checking the attributes of that certain space. So if a tourist comes to Lagos, for example, he wants to ask you questions like, what is Third Mainland Bridge like? I want to see. Okay, I want to see. What is the island like? I've always heard of Lekki in Lagos. What is Lekki like? I want to see. And then what happens next? The person visits the place. Oh, there is a place that is called probably Quilox. You want to know where Quilox is. You want to go there and visit and see the life, the vibe and all of that. You hear of a place like Lekki Conservation Center. The tourist wants to go there and see everything. You want to check up, check down, check the front, check the back, and all of that, just so that you can have full detail, all right, or premium information concerning that location. If the same person travels to Abeokuta, he wants to see the rock. If the same person travels to Abuja, he also wants to see the rock, the Zuma Rock, and other places. If the same person travels to Calabar, he or she wants to see the cattle ranch over there, right? So when such a person is going around looking at things, trying to get different perspectives, different attributes, different characteristics of different places, what they are doing basically is what? Exploring. What they're doing basically is exploring. If you buy a new phone, for example, let's imagine that iPhone 17 Pro Max has been released, and you buy that phone. Not even iPhone 17. If you take iPhone 13 that has been out for like 2 years now, you want to check every part of the phone. You want to see everything, the functionalities of everything, the voice recording, the camera, the call, the sound of the speaker, and all of that. You want to check everything. What you're doing in that instance is called exploratory. You're exploring, right? You are exploring basically. So the question is, when we come to data, when we talk about data, is it possible to explore data to see the things that are inside the data that even the ordinary eyes cannot see? The question is, when they now give you data, you will turn yourself into a tourist. So you are going around the data, exploring the data, checking different parts of the data, up, down, left, right, center, between everything, to ensure that you are getting the necessary information and insights from that data. So Rosemary, you raised a hand. I don't know if that's an error. You want to probably type so that we don't break the flow of the class. Okay, someone says the data set again. All right, so give me a second. Um, where is it? Just hold on. Okay, I've shared it, so anyone with the link can view. Yeah, so you can check it now. I've shared it again. Okay, so Rosemary, you want to, like I said earlier, um, type your comment in the section, in the chat section, so that I can see, and we will make necessary response. Please, we're running out of time already, and I want us to achieve something today. Okay, great. So, like I was saying, exploratory data analysis, basically from the word explore, simply means to, check for the features or the attributes of a data set given to you, right? So in this case, for today's class, the data set that we have is called a telco customer churn data set. A telco customer churn data set. So I'll be switching between tabs so that I can get my message across to you without much stress. So let me just quickly show us the data so that we'll look at it together, all right, from my screen, and then we would see what we need to do concerning that data, and we'll start our analysis. So I have the data set here. Who can see the data set already? Okay, it's not showing. All right, so here you have the data set. Now it says telco customer churn data set. Forget too much English. I am here, I will break down everything. All right, telco is just simply to say it is a telecommunication company. So you are a data scientist for this particular company that is called telco. And telco, like I said, is a what? Telecommunication company. Now, the next question you want to ask is customer churn. What is customer churn? Basically, in simple English, it means customer retention or customer behavior, all right, data set. It means that in this company, telco, they discovered that customers have been leaving the company. Customers have been what? Leaving the company. So they want to know what is the rate of customers leaving the company? Why are they leaving the company? So when you see the word churn, churn means to leave, right? Churn means to what? To leave or to stop something. Are you with me? Churn means to leave or to stop something. It could also be attrition in case of human resources. So if you are dealing with a human resource data set, what you will see is HR attrition. It means within the company, the HR departments are looking at those that have been employed, those that either were sacked or they resigned, all right, but they are no longer in the company. That's attrition, all right. In this case, it is a customer churn data set because it's a business data set. Are we together? So that's customer churn. So basically, what are the attributes? What are the things we have in this data set? We have the customer ID, gender, senior citizen, partner, dependent, tenure, phone services, and all of that. Now, once you open this in your Microsoft Excel, you are still going to have almost the same thing that I have here. Okay, almost the same thing that I have right here. Just so we can see all together, right? Still loading. Okay, here we go. So the first thing we want to do is to expand. Yeah, so we can see everything clearly. Customer ID, gender, senior citizen, partner. So this basically is the what is it called now? Details of each customer. This person, for example, the ID of this customer is what? 7590 VHVEG. The gender of this particular customer is a female. Is the person a senior citizen? No, that's why it is 0. Does the person have a partner? That is the person married? Yes. Any dependents? No. Tenure? 1. Phone service? No. Right? Internet service, online security, online backup. All right. Streaming TV, streaming movies, contracts, month to month. That's based on where he or she works. The payment method for this telecommunication company, which is telco, she now in this case, because the gender is female, she uses what? The electronic check payment method. What is her monthly charges from our company? Her monthly charges is 29.85, maybe dollars or naira, as the case may be. Has the person churned? That means has the person left? The answer is what? No. She's still our customer. She still patronizes our business. So, for example, in this case where we have churn, yes, it means that this person has left our telecommunication company. Maybe we are MTN and the person left us and went to Glo or Airtel or Nine Mobile. So when we say churn, yes, it means that this person has left. When we say churn, yes, in this case as well, it means that this person has left. Churn, no, means that the person is still our customer. The payment method for this person is through bank transfer. The contracts he or she has is 1 year. Let's check. Okay, so this person is a male based on the gender that we can see. So basically, looking at the data set, you already understand what the data set is about. You already understand what your job as a data scientist is. Your job is to help telco, all right, to discover the percentage, for example, of people that are leaving. Is it really true that people are leaving? Is it affecting our business? What is the rate of people leaving our business or our company? What is the reason? Why are they leaving our company? These are your job, okay? These are your job description as a data scientist. What should we do to retain more of these people? All right, so we're going to dive straight into it, okay? We're going to dive straight into it. So if you are ready at this point, just give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me clearly and you are ready, give me a thumbs up and then we move straight. Okay, that's George. Thank you very much. Okay, Ahmad, James. Okay, great. Wanko, great. Anulika, Anderson, good job, good job. All right. So I'm as ready as you are. I'm as ready as you are. So I'm just going to go straight into what we have to do for today. Okay, my screen should be up now, and I am right there in Google Colab where we want to work. The first thing as a data scientist, so what we are doing is today we are all data scientists, and we are walking ourselves through the daily life of a data scientist. You want to explore a particular data set to find out what are the things within the data set that are hidden that we can't see. I mean, we just opened the data set. There are certain things that we can't see, right? So let's go through the process. Let's go through the process, one after the other. Let's go through the process one after the other. The first thing that you should do when you are in your workspace or your notebook, as the case may be, is to import. Let me use it, write it as a comment. Import the necessary libraries. Import necessary what? Libraries. Now, why did I say import necessary libraries? It's because Python has multiple libraries, okay, that are used for different things. Python has what? Multiple libraries that are used for different things, for different uses rather, and by different people, for different professionals. As a data scientist, you use pandas, for example, you use NumPy, you use Seaborn, you use Matplotlib. Okay, if you are to be a machine learning engineer, you'll be using Spark, which is also a library in Python. If you're a web developer, you'll be using Django, which is also a library in what? In Python. So you need to know Python cuts across various professions. So it's not just data scientists or data analysts that uses Python. It cuts across various fields, various professions, right? So you need to know the necessary libraries that you want to use or that you are supposed to use to achieve what you want. In this case, we start with importing the necessary ones. Import, the first one is pandas. Okay, import pandas and give it an alias as PD. Import pandas as PD. Okay, someone is raising a hand. Gold Daramola. Okay, can you share quickly? Daramola, is there anything you would want us to help you with? Okay, I guess that was like a network glitch. So import pandas. The next thing you are importing, import numpy as np. Import numpy as np. Another thing you need is to import Seaborn as SNS. These are libraries. Pandas is a library that helps in data collection. All right, it helps in data collection. NumPy is a library as well that helps in your numerical calculations. Seaborn is a library that helps in data visualization. If you want to visualize your data to create a chart, all right, Seaborn is that library that you can use to achieve that. After that, the fourth thing that you are importing is matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So what we've done, first of all, is to import all our necessary libraries. Import all our necessary libraries. Okay. So the next thing that you want to do, remember we said this is a notebook. In this, our notebook where we are presently, everything we've written here so far is one line, line 1. If I want to move to the second line, line 2, I need to click on Shift key and enter. Shift key and enter. If I click enter alone, all right, enter alone, we keep extending our line 1. And we don't want that. We want to move to the second line. So to move to the second line, you use Shift and enter. It takes you to line 2. How many of you are where I am now? If you are here, exactly where I am. Okay, good. George, Oluwala Milola, of course. Okay, Anderson, great job. Great. Ahmad, James. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is import. All right. Import the telco data set into Python. Import. I want to bring in the data sets into Python, right? I want to bring in the data sets that we will be working with into Python so that Python can see the data and read the data. So what you need to do is very simple. The first thing is you want to open your file explorer where the data set is stored. You want to open your file explorer where the data set is stored. Put it by the side of your screen. Put it by the side of your screen. The next thing that you would have to do is come to this place where you have file. This place where you have file. All right. Click on this part where you have files. Then remember that you are supposed to have your data set already by the side of your screen. Okay. So what you want to do is drag the data set into this place where you have file. If you drag, you are going to get this particular warning. All right. It's not a bad sign. It's a good sign. So you click on OK. You click on OK. So it loads. Network is a bit slow tonight, so we have to wait. If you have yours already loaded, give me a thumbs up. If you have yours already loaded, give me a thumbs up. Good, George. Okay, mine is loaded now. Mine is loaded now. Mine is loaded now. Okay, but I got only a thumbs up from George alone. So who else? Who else has their data already loaded this way into Python? Can you hear me at all? Am I alone? Am I walking alone this evening? Okay, Anderson, great. Okay, someone, Abubakar, raised a hand. All right, what's the challenge? What's the challenge? Okay, I guess you want to also give me a thumbs up. All right. All right. Okay, so now the next thing that we want to do, we want Python to see that we have loaded a data set. So let me reduce this a bit so that you can see what's going on. Just a little. Now, we want Python to see that we have loaded a data set into it. The first thing that you want to do is give your data set a name. Originally, the name of the data set is what? Telco customer churn data set. But you don't want that every time you need to refer to your data set, you are calling all this big English, telco customer churn data set. So the best thing is to give it a simple name. The best thing is to give it what? A simple name where you will now store the data inside. So for example, some of you have a phone. The phone, out of the need to protect your phone, you now buy a pouch. All right. When you buy the pouch, you now put your phone, you tuck your phone inside the pouch. It's the same thing that we want to do. We have a data set that we are careful of because we don't want to make mistake, in calling the data. Because if you are going to use this exact name, it's too long, it's lengthy, and you must not make mistakes. So the best thing to do is to buy your pouch and put our data set inside of it with a simpler name that's easier for you to call. To achieve that, I will just give it a name, df, data frame. df equals to, now, where we mentioned our pandas, one of the libraries that we imported in the beginning, pd dot read underscore our file that we saved on our laptop that we downloaded it as an Excel file. We downloaded it as an Excel file. So you want to do read underscore Excel. pd.read underscore Excel. Put in your brackets, okay, and then put a quotation mark inside of it. Quotation mark inside of it this way. You can see my cursor is in between the two quotation marks. My cursor is in between the two quotation marks. So you want to leave your cursor in that position as well. The next step is that you come back to this place where the data set is stored. You come back to this place where the data set is stored. You see these three dots that you have here. These three dots that you have here. You want to click on it. You would see copy path. You'd see copy path. The next thing you will do is you click on copy path, right? Copy path, and then come back to that place where your cursor was before, in between the two quotation marks, right? You come back there and paste the path that has been copied before. So Control V. Once you see this underlined, right? Once you see this underlined, it means that your data set has been successfully loaded into Python, and it has been stored inside the pouch, our variable that is called df. Okay, so remember we said we are doing exploratory data analysis, right? So let me go to the next line in our notebook. Who can remind me what we use to go to the next line in our notebook? What do we use to go to the next line? Shift, enter, George. Great one. Okay, shift, enter. Good, Damilola. So we click on our shift, enter, and we go to the next line in our notebook. So exploratory data analysis, EDA, right? Let's just quickly see some things within the data set that we are dealing with. The first thing that we want to see is the what? Top 5 rows of the data set, top 5 rows of the data set, top 5 rows of the data set. How do you do that? You must always call the name of the data. So why we do this? For example, my name is Dafe. If my friends decide to call me, give me a nickname, let's say my nickname is Pablo. Okay, I'm not a Yahoo boy. I'm a programmer. I'm a data scientist. But let's imagine that my nickname is Pablo. Chances are that if 10 of my friends enter the same room where I am, out of 10, 9 will likely call me Pablo. They won't remember that my name is Daffy. Maybe it's only one that still have brain that will call me Daffy, right? Pablo Excoda. So, right, it's only one that will probably call me my real name. The rest, Pablo, how far now? You get what I'm saying now. So, in this case, I am part of those friends that will call the other person Pablo. So instead of us saying telco, customer churn, data set, blah, 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 all we need to do is to just call our data by his nickname, df dot head, and close the bracket. Shift and enter. df dot head. Then close the bracket, shift and enter. What do you see now? You see your data set already loaded into Python. If it is hard, just tell me that it is hard though. Just tell me that you are no more interested. It is very hard. Right? So what can we see? The top 5 rows, as you can see, starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's basically it. All the rows that we counted when we opened Excel, this is it. We have everything loaded. So the last one, churn, if you remember, where I was saying that churn means that the person has left or the person has not left, right? And when churn is no, it means the person has not left. When churn is yes, it means the person has left our company, is no longer patronizing us. So here we have everything, top 5 row loaded. The other thing that we can do is to also remember it's exploratory. You're exploring, checking out the data set, exploring. Okay, no, let me not use this example. The people that know me, they will say I like that kind of example too much. So I will not use that example. So let's say, but you know that when you are asking a babe out, the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks is exploratory data analysis. What is your favorite color? What is your favorite food? What time do you wake up? Where do you live? What do I need to do to make you like me? What is it that you don't like at all those things? What you are doing is exploratory data analysis, right? Because the babe now or the guy is the data. You are exploring the data. Then you will now analyze, will this relationship work or not? If it's clear, give me thumbs up. If it's clear, Abdulmumi just joined. His network sent him out. He did not hear the gist. So, exploratory data analysis, like I told people every time, so that you will know how to plug in exactly, Olakunle, exactly. That's it. You will know how to plug in. That, oh my goodness, you guys are good data scientists. Right? So let's check out the bottom 5 rows of the data set. The bottom 5 rows of the data set. We will call the nickname again. The nickname we gave in the beginning is what? DF, right? So that's what we'll use to refer to our data. df.tail. Shift, enter. So what you can see here is the bottom 5 rows. The bottom 5 rows. And you can see that it's ended at 7,042. 7,000 and what? 42. But in the real sense, it is supposed to end at 7,043. Why is it ending at 7,043? Because in the beginning, we started our row count with what? With 0. So ideally, our first row count is supposed to be 1. So if this started with 1, then it will end at 7,043. So you see, you are working with a data set that has 7,000 rows. Imagine the number of questions you need to ask for you to explore the data set. Now, let's just quickly do something. Short data dot shape. Should I do this one? Yes, let's do this one. No brackets this time around. You can see 7,043 rows and 21 columns. 7,043 rows and 21 columns. We're just looking at the data up, down, left, right, and center to see everything that we can pick out. So it means that if we count all these columns that we have here, from customer ID down to churn, it is all in total 21 columns, and the rows ends at 7,043. Okay, another thing that we can look for, which is most likely the last thing we'll look for, data.info. Let's now use this one to go further in what we're trying to do. So data.info gives us information, in-depth information about our what? Data, including the data type. So right here, I will introduce us to the next thing that we're supposed to learn for today. You can see, for example, that customer ID is what? 7,043 rows, non-null. It means that there is no empty cell in the whole of customer ID column. When you want to ask that babe out, you are asking, is there anybody that is sick in your family? Do you people used to have this kind of disease in your family? Is there any mad person in your family before? Is there any albino, affin? Do you have affin in your family? In case you don't like, you ask all those questions. So here we have asked the customer ID babe all the questions necessary, and we have seen that there is no empty cell throughout that column. We have asked gender as well. It's complete, 7,043. We keep asking and asking and asking and asking, right? We can see that generally there is no what? No null. Another thing that we can see here that we should pick out is that there are different types of data. There are two major types of what? Of data. Number one is called a categorical data. Number two is called the numerical data. And it's not difficult. Let me write it in one of the as a text. Okay, two types of data, right? Number one is categorical data. In other words, it means text. Okay, and number two is numerical data. And numerical data simply means numbers, right? So those are the two types of data that we have: categorical data, numerical data. In this case, from the information we are given, categorical data, the type that has been assigned to categorical data is object. So customer ID, for example, look at it, 759-VHVEG. The computer or Python is seeing this as a text, not a number. Gender is what? Female. What do you think gender will be, categorical or numerical? Categorical or numerical? Okay, categorical. Good, George. So it means that if Python wants to view this data, the type it is going to give it is object. See it, gender is given as data type of what? Object. Let's look at the next one here. Int. We have senior citizen, and senior citizen is represented as an integer data type. Why is it represented as an integer data type? Simply because it is in numbers. Look at it. Senior citizen 00000, right? 00010. It's a numerical type of data. So it is represented with what? Int 64. Why? Because computers operate in what is called 64 bits. All right, 64 bits. That one is another topic entirely. So we keep looking and keep looking, but you will now discover that there's this guy that is called total charges. And total charges was given to us as a what? As an object. Look at monthly charges. Monthly charges is given to us as a float. It means it's a decimal number. Int here means it's just a whole number like 0, 5, 10, 100, 250, 1000, and so on. Float here means it's a decimal number: 0.5, 10.5, 3.62551, 105.30. But in this case, it's now saying total charges is an object. How is that possible? How is that possible? Let's go and check. Total charges. Where do we have total charges? Look at total charges. 1,990.5, 7,362.9, 346.45. So this can never be object. It can never be object. Why? Because it's not a text data. It's not a categorical data. So it means that the data type was stored wrongly. The data type was stored what? Wrongly. What we need to do is to now what? Correct that data type so that it is now going to be displayed as a float, because from what we can see, one of them is 1,990.5 decimal. So we have to store it back as a float. So we want to go and correct the data type. So let's put correcting the total charges data type. Correcting the data, the total rather, correcting the total charges data type. Correcting the total charges data type. If you are with me to this point, please give me a thumbs up as usual. Okay, great. So to correct the data, I'm just quickly going to type my code. Here you have it. It says DF. What is DF? The nickname that we gave to our data. What are we looking for inside DF? You are looking for total charges equals to PD.2. PD, remember what I told you, PD is for accessing your data, all right, for calling your data. It's a library in Python that has been given the nickname PD. It's actually called pandas. PD.2 what? To numeric. What are we turning or what are we converting to numeric? We're converting the total charges data that is found inside the DF dataset. So data.info, remember, it was data.info that we used in bringing out this information. So we want to use data.info to bring it out again to see what has happened to total charges. So I run this, Shift and enter. Just to correct the total charges data set, column rather. So if we look at that, it has turned now into a float, but the number has what? Reduced to 7,032. Let me hold on for everyone. If you are done typing the codes and you are where I am, just give me a thumbs up so that we can move forward. Okay, Anderson, great. So what you will notice is that data.df, our df, inside df, which is total charges, good, James, George, okay, great. Now that we have changed it from being a categorical data into a numerical data, you will now discover that some parts are empty. It has now told us that, okay, in this particular column, what we have is 732 cells with data. It means that if our total data set is supposed to be 7,043, and total charges is telling us that what we have is 7,032, it means that 11 cells are missing. Abi now, 707, hi, I keep saying 700. 7,042 and 43 rather, minus 7,032, that gives us 11. So 11 rows are missing. Now, the question you want to ask me is, what do we do with 11 rows? What do we do with 11 rows? So for those that know me, that we used to meet where we used to meet, this is the part where, if you remember one of the things that we talked about before, when you have missing data, there are different things that you can do. You can either delete the missing data, or you can use what is called imputation method. All right, you can either delete the data or use imputation. If you are using imputation, it means that you want to impute based on maybe the mean of that particular column, or you want to impute based on the median. That is after checking the data sets to see if it is normally distributed or it is skewed to the left or to the right. You can now decide whether you're using the mean or the median. You can either also use linear regression, okay, and a lot of machine learning algorithms like that to fill in missing data. But in this case, we're not going to go through all of that. It is just 11 cells that are missing out of 7,043. So it will not necessarily affect the integrity of our analysis, right? It will not necessarily affect the integrity of our analysis. So what we are going to do is just basically to remove it. We're going to remove that 11 rows that are missing. So how do we remove? Okay, the first thing that you do is to count for the rows that are missing, and then you use what is called is null. Is null. Is null is the name of the function. So hashtag, let's say, counting missing cells. That's the function df dot is null in brackets, then dot sum. Shift and enter. It tells you that what total charges is missing by what 11. It tells you that nothing is missing here, nothing is missing here, nothing is missing, nothing is missing, nothing is missing. But it now gets to total charges and tells us that total charges is missing by 11. So if you have gotten into this point, please give me a thumbs up again. Good, George. Anderson, great. Ahmad, okay, perfect. We're moving forward. So please don't forget, like I said before, Fatima, great. Like I said before, to get the recording of this session, to also get a link to these codes, you want to fill, because I'll complete this whole code and attach as well. So you want to fill it up so that you can get it and finish up. All right, the next thing that we want to do, now that we know that there are some missing cells, we want to remove this 11 so that it doesn't disturb the rest of our analysis. We want to remove that 11 so that it doesn't disturb the rest of our analysis, right? Are you with me, please? So let's say hashtag, which is a comment, replace missing cells. Or should we say delete? Yeah. Okay, let's use the word drop, because drop is the name of the function that we're using. So it has been dropped presently. It has been dropped. That's why you have this mark. So let's go and check df dot is null, right? Oh, sorry. Dot sum. Shift enter. So you can see nothing is missing anymore in total charges, right? So we have checked, everything is fine. Let's now go and do our df.info. You can see that everything now has changed to 7,032, including our total charges. Everything has changed to 7,032, including our total charges. Including our total charges. So now that we have successfully cleaned that part of the data, we have successfully cleaned that part of the data, let's just move to doing, one or two things so that we can proceed. Now, the next thing that we want to learn, is what? We said we want to do analysis, right? Exploratory data analysis. The question is, what are the types of EDA? By EDA, I mean exploratory data analysis. Types of EDA. There are three basically. Number one, it's either you have what is called a univariate analysis. By univariate, we mean one. Univariate, one variable. So what do I mean by variable? Everything we have in our data set from the beginning, this whole column is one variable. Gender is one variable. Senior citizen is one variable. Partner is one variable. Dependent is another variable. So by univariate analysis, it means that we are analyzing just singular columns or singular attributes within the data set. The second one is called bivariate analysis. Who can guess what bivariate means? Who can guess what bivariate means? Comment, anybody? Bivariate, who can guess? Two variables, good. Ugochukwu, great one, nice. Fatima, two variables, good. So bivariate analysis simply means you are comparing two columns together, two variables. You are comparing two variables together, all right, from each other. That's bivariate. The third type is now called multivariate analysis. Multivariate analysis. So now, aside Ugochukwu and Fatima, who can guess what multivariate analysis would mean? More than two, exactly, Ugochukwu, more than two. You deserve a round of applause. So let me shower you with round of applause. Nice one. Okay, George Daco says multiple, perfect. Yeah, George as well. Round of applause. Good job, guys. So it means that we're talking about three variables or more, from three and above. That is multivariate analysis. So let's start with the first type. Let's start with univariate analysis in this case. Univariate analysis. So under our first univariate analysis, we want to look at the distribution of gender. We want to look at the distribution of what? Of gender. To do that, we'll use Seaborn. Remember, in the beginning, we said Seaborn, import Seaborn as what? SNS. Import Seaborn as SNS. So that's what we have here. SNS.countPlot. CountPlot is a type of plot that allows Python to count. Is a type of plot that allows Python to count. It would now be visualized as a bar plot. Okay, and then it will give you the value for gender, male and female gender that you have. So can I move on? Let's see what we're going to have. Shift and enter. That's it. Let me reduce my screen so that we can see everything in one stretch. So you will notice that this is the graph that we have. You will notice that in this graph, the first thing is that it counted the gender for us. It says gender, we have male as what? 3,549. We have female as what? 3,483. And that's what we have here. You see that the male bar is slightly higher than the female bar. So if you have gotten into this point, give me another thumbs up, so that I'm sure that we are all together, we are working together, achieving the same things together. Good job. So let me go to the code again in case if there's anyone who has not written it. So we have simply analyzed one column. This is univariate what? Analysis. Still under that, we can just continue doing this for partner. All right, we can just continue doing this for partner and what have you. So the same code that we have here now, let's replicate it. Control C. Go to your next line and what? Control V. So we did, let me put enter here. Enter. Let's say distribution of customers with partners, or let's say customer partners. Distribution of customer partners. Now, remember that we said count plot our X is equals to gender, and we called gender inside our DF. So we are just basically going to change the gender into partner, but we need to be sure of how it is written in the data set. So this is it here, partner. I can just highlight it, copy, Control C, and then I'll go there and paste. Ewo. Okay, and then change it here as well. Yep. Okay, one thing is missing, my colon, my quotation mark. Yeah. Okay, then shift and enter. So this is the graph that shows, let's reduce again so that we can see. This is the graph that shows the distribution of customers with partners. These people, yes, they have partners. How many are they? 3,393. These people, where we say no, they don't have partner, they are single, 3,639. They have no partner. I hope it's making sense so far. Good. Good job, James. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, let's do something that is called a subplot. What is a subplot? A subplot is a combination of different charts imitating, let me say imitating or looking like a dashboard. Sorry, a combination of different charts looking like a dashboard. Looking like a dashboard. Sorry, I just saw a comment. Yes, please, we are going to get it here. You definitely, what you need to do is just to, what's it called now? Fill in the attendance form, yes. Fill in the attendance form. So what I've done for this one is quite long. I've written the code down somewhere already, so I'm pasting it for you all to see. Do I still have a few corrections to make? Let me see. Do I really? Okay, let me leave it there. Distribution of gender. So I will explain everything internet service. So we've picked internet service, set title to internet service. Let me reduce my screen so that we can all see it at one stretch and type. So plt.show. Is it not too small? Maybe we should do two alone and leave the rest. because of our time? Or should we wait for everybody to type everything? You can't see. That's the thing. If I increase it, it will be, you won't be able to see the bottom part. But let's just go. So, okay, I'll give you a simple way out. The easiest way out. Once you type from here to here, right? From this distribution of gender, you can just copy and paste and then change the name. So you will see that here you have gender, here you have gender. Here I have internet service, here I have internet service. So just change the name, it's the same thing. Here, senior citizen, senior citizen. So once you get to this point, just highlight it like this, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, then change the names. I'm waiting for reactions. Once I get a reaction, we'll move on. So please, just to make it faster, copy and paste, copy and paste. So once you're done copying and pasting, then the end, just include plt.show. That's matplotlib. It's not difficult. See what I have here is the same thing. Just copy it, paste it here. So this is going to be churn, not male to female. Plot of churn, of customer churn. And then here I have churn. So here where I have plot of male to female is not actually male to female. Plot of senior citizen. That's it. Then I have senior citizen, copy and paste. The only difference, so let me point out what will be difference, is the position. So from the beginning, we used positioning. We said plt.subplot for what? 2:2. The axis. So it's like we're dividing it into 4 corners. That's why we said 2 into 2. So we're going to have 2 horizontal lines and 2 columns. That's 2 rows and 2 columns. 2 rows and 2 columns. So that's why we have 2:2. How do I make this visible for you? How do I make this visible? Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm sorry, just give me a minute to exit sharing my screen so that I can explain what that means. Let me go to my slide. Well, far behind time. So who can see my slide? Good. So basically, what that 2:2 means, we did something like this. Sorry, don't mind the way it is going to come out. Just manage 2, comma 2. What it means is we have this entire screen. Let's say where I have click here to download data, right? Is the entire screen. We're saying we want to have within that data set, we want to create visualizations in 2 rows like this. Oh, that's not even the center. Well, let's continue like that. 2 rows and 2 columns. Don't mind me. Don't mind my drawing. Okay. So what we are saying is divide the entire screen into 2 rows like this and 2 columns. One of the visualization will take this space. That is, this place one will be position 0, 1 or 0, 0. This second part will take the second visualization. This will be 0, 1. This third part, another visualization. This will be 1, 0. Then the fourth part, the fourth visualization, which will be 1, 1. So that's just basically it. We're dividing the screen into different segments. That's just what we did. Divided the screen. Oh, okay. So we have like our entire screen. Divide it into 2. That's what we said. One visualization here, one down here, and then the other down here. In which ratio? 2 rows and 2 columns. 2 rows and 2 columns. So let's quickly visualize that and see what we're going to get coming out of that. Let's visualize and see what we're going to get coming out of that. Shift enter. So you can see what we have. Let me reduce. Yeah, this is what we have. So this is 2 rows like this, and then 2 columns. That's why we have over here, sorry, it's very small because I've reduced my screen. We have 2, 2, right? So this is just what we have. Now, so if you don't have this, not to worry. I will include the code in the slides that you're going to get. So you're going to get the code as well. All right. Go back to increasing. Let me see. Okay, let me reduce this figure size. In fact, let me reduce this figure size to say 6 by 6. Okay, it's a lot smaller. Oh, it's rough. Let me make it 10. 10. Okay. Yeah, but it still is too big. But it's fine. This is what we have. Right? So let's just touch one bivariate, and then we will call it an evening. Not call it an evening, then we'll wait for my, what's it called now? My promo. So bivariate analysis, who can remind me what I said bivariate analysis mean? Hashtag by the 2 variables, okay? That is analyzing 2 variables. So let's say we want to get the distribution of gender by churn. We want to compare gender with the rate of churn. If the female gender actually usually leaves our company much more than the male gender. So we'll just compare them side by side. We'll compare them side by side, right? So I will just quickly type the code, paste, yeah. So this code will basically tell us, put both of them side by side and show us the churn distribution by gender, churn distribution by gender. So like we said, relationship between gender and churn. Don't forget that churn means the people that are leaving or that have stopped patronizing our business. The people that have stopped patronizing our business. So here you have it. C. Churn, no. Churn, yes. For female, no. The people that are with us are lesser. The people that have left us from the male end are higher from what we can see. So those that have not left, I mean, in the female end, which one can we say? We are not really sure, by the way. But it feels like the female have left us more than the male. The females are always going. They're always, maybe our customer care agents are usually shouting at them, and what have you, whenever they have a call, or transfers are usually delaying them and they don't like delays and what have you. So, no, okay, I just saw this comment. Don't memorize code though. If you memorize it, once you miss one line, you are likely to miss every other thing. So this is also the same, is pretty much the same plot that we've been using since, count plot, sns.count plot. Then we just added title to it. We have our x-axis, x label, and our y-axis or y label. And then we said use matplotlib to show the chart. So what are we looking for? We're looking for gender and churn. We created a title, we created the X label, we created a Y label, and then that's it. So X label, gender, Y label, count. That's just what it means. X label, that's the title of X axis. Y label, title of Y axis. This is the same thing that we've been writing since morning. sns.countplot, our X equals to what? Gender. What is the second column or second variable we are using to compare? We are using the churn column or the churn variable to compare. Give our chart a title, give your x-axis a title, give your y-axis a title, and then show the plot for me. That's plt.show. And then you get this. Is it making sense to this point? If you have what I have without mistake or errors, just give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Just one thumbs up. Anybody? Are we all still typing? Yes, sir. You will get the codes. I will include it. I will include it. Yeah. I will include it so everyone can see the codes. And I mean, what's more important is the explanation. Do you understand the explanation? Yes. If you understand the explanation, then the next thing is you can just use the code, Good job, George. Good job. So if you understand the explanation, you can just use the code, to supplement or to support what you already understand from the class. So I mean, this is basically exploratory data analysis. This is exploratory data analysis. And I mean, you can see how easy it is. Check your different variables, check the data, ask questions. What is the total number of rows, total number of columns? How many empty cells do we have? How many non-empty cells do we have? You know, you ask questions here and there from the data, you ask questions, you press the data, you massage to the left, massage to the right until the data will vomit the correct thing that you are going to present to the stakeholders or non-technical members of the organization. Okay, good question. Is it advisable to use double quotation or single quotation? Very simple question, straightforward question. The reason why you will use double quotation and single quotation is for readability. For readability. So in this case, for example, I used single quotation. I use single quotation here. I use double quotation here. But in the case where both of them will probably be on the same line, all right, see here, double quotation, here, single quotation, it still works. But the case where both of them will be on the same line, and you'll probably now be confused on where the quotation starts and where the quotation ends. So to make it separate, that's why you use either single quotation or double quotation. So it's just basically an issue of readability. It's not, everything in quotation, as far as Python is concerned, whether it's a single quote or a double quote, is called a string. So here where I have single quotes, what Python is seeing is a string. Here where I have double quotes, what Python is still seeing is also a string. But to separate them and to make it more readable, that's why we use them separately, right? So, like I was trying to say, having all of this knowledge, to be honest, if I'm going to be sincere with you, is not enough. Okay, Ugochukwu has a question. Can you ask your question? Ugochukwu, can you ask your question?
Okay, Sam, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me now?
I can now.
Okay. Yeah, I want to find out because I intend to join your data analytics your data science cohort that will be coming
Program.
up by
Okay.
I think by October or so.
Okay.
Now, I want to find out. I know what you just did today is probably just to give us an overview, of
Okay.
what Python looks like and how it works and all that. I
Okay.
remember when I did I remember when I did the introductory SQL.
Okay.
The tutor started by telling us some of the common syntaxes,
Yes.
functions,
Yeah.
in SQL, started from select, down
Yeah.
to in,
Where?
between, where,
Yeah.
and all and all that, concatenate and what they actually do. What I actually have seen that you didn't really take time to. I don't really know whether when the class starts proper, you are going to
Okay.
take out your time to actually, take these functions one after the other. Because to be honest with you, I just enjoy the flow, but I've not really been following, But
Okay.
yes. So I don't know whether the class proper will actually, adopt that approach so that when we come, we'll be able to take out value from the
Okay.
sessions.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. If Oluwadamilola is still on the call, she's one of our students, I will just give her like 1 minute to share her experience, all right, on how the class has been so far. Is Oluwadamilola on the call? So you want to just quickly unmute your mic, just share your experience. How is the class? Our classes, how has it been? Has it been interactive? Is this different from what you are experiencing now? Just 1 minute or less if possible. Can you hear me? Okay, I guess she can't hear me or so. She's been interacting ever since. Anyways, to answer your question, this is the class. All right, this is basically our class. We try to break down everything to the barest minimum. Like if I'm teaching a 5-year-old, the same way I will explain for that 5-year-old to understand, I will explain that same way for you to understand. So, I mean, imagine how relatable everything I've been saying is, how you can easily relate with them using relationship, using tourism, using football, using different. That's just how it is. Your everyday life. We bring your everyday life into the class to make our explanations. And the same way you see me taking the course here is the same way every other of our facilitator is taking our courses. So, the myth, the wrong impression that people have about this thing is that it's too complex, it's very difficult. I want to do it, but it's too complex. My brain cannot carry it. Who told you your brain cannot carry it? And guess what? The truth is, like the question someone was asking if we okay, I think it was George that was saying, do we need to memorize everything? No, you just need to have an idea. You need to know what you are doing. You have AI, there's ChatGPT, there's Claude AI, there is Global GPT, everything. Once you have built yourself to the level of having solid foundation, even if AI is telling you rubbish, because there are times when you get wrong answers. And I'm being sincere because I've been in that position multiple times. Whatever I get, I can now modify it because I know what it is exactly. So if it gives me something that is not exactly what I'm looking for, I know how to modify it. So, I mean, these things are not difficult. The problem, like I said in the beginning, is that we do not have organizations that will come up with this kind of training at the top level. Some people will just scratch, the surface for you, and after you pay, they leave you to go. Now, so what Nebient Analytics really, really does is not what I'm even doing here. This one is just like 20% of Nebient Analytics' job as far as tech is concerned, or tech training is concerned. What I have done today, in fact, everything concerning the class, both our syllabus, our training materials, and it's just 20%. From what I have, you are now going to make me move away from what I have, but yeah, I'll still come back when necessary. I just want to quickly show you everything, and then, this is like our main offer. So you see that there's nothing concerning the class here. We will teach you the same way you have experienced my class today. You would experience it in the main class, right? After having that experience, you have weekly guidance and mentorship sessions. One, what is guidance and mentorship? Basically telling you what step to take as you progress in your journey as a data scientist. The next thing we're going to have is what? CV assessment. Everybody's CV will be checked. Everyone's CV will be worked on, so that you are going to have a CV that is globally relevant, that is globally acceptable, that will stand out globally. And we're not just going to build CV alone. Every of our classes comes with projects that will be documented and can be placed in your CV as your portfolio. Because the truth is, tech does not require too much of your educational background. Like I said in the beginning, our CEO she graduated BSc as a fine art student. Our COO, Mohammed, graduated BSc as a mechanical engineer, but they are doing very well in the data space today, right? So tech will not check your educational background, but it will check your portfolio. What are the things that you have done? What are the projects that you have worked on? And these are the things that you're going to be getting in class. Every of our class is like a project. So what we are teaching, you are applying it on the spot. You are applying it in a project on the spot. And what that means is that you can now document all these things and put them together as your portfolio. Another benefit, LinkedIn profile revamp. Of course, virtually everybody on this call knows that LinkedIn is like the place where you will get jobs, especially foreign jobs or remote gigs, right? But if your profile is not optimized on LinkedIn, you are likely to just be there scrolling and scrolling for years and nobody will even notice you. All right. So what you want to do is you want to also have an optimized account. All of these things that I'm mentioning, it's not separate fee. They are not separate fee. They are still the same fee that you are paying for the course. Upwork profile. We're going to create an Upwork profile for you so that you can start seeking for remote jobs, foreign jobs online using Upwork. Interview preparation. I always ask people this very simple question. If you go for an interview and they ask you the question, tell us about yourself. Do you really know how to answer that question? Tell us about yourself. Very simple question, but not everybody knows how to answer that question. And that, for example, was one of the topics that they treated during the guidance and mentorship session yesterday, just last night. They taught them a whole lot about interview preparations and how you can even use AI, ChatGPT, to prepare for interview. It's not just asking random questions. There are specific things that you're supposed to type in ChatGPT that will give you the response you're expecting. Another example, I mentioned not memorizing codes, that you should know it, have a good foundation, and use ChatGPT. But even if you have the ChatGPT, there are still ways that you will type it and it will never give you what you want until you know the right prompts to enter. Right? Another thing is called technical support session. So we have taught you in class. You have learned it. We have done class projects. You are now on your own in the house trying to practice. You have a challenge and whatnot. There is still a separate session after the class where you can ask your questions and your questions will be very well attended to. So we're not interested in teaching. Teaching is not the main problem here. You see this number 1 to 7. These are the things that really, really establish the fact that you have learned tech or not. You have learned a tech skill or not. Every other person can teach, but will every other person give you access to guidance and mentorship? Would they give you CV assessment, LinkedIn profile revamp, optimization, Upwork profile, interview preparation, technical support? You have the ability to ask questions. Then the final one, lifetime access to Nebient analytics. The truth is, when you get to the field, when you get that your data science job that you're looking for, which you will get, all right, if you do the right things, chances are that you will still encounter some challenges. And that is where lifetime access to Nebient comes. After your training, after giving you all of these things that I have mentioned, after collecting your certificate, when others are saying bye-bye to their other organizations where they learned, you still have the access to come back and ask us questions that, okay, I have this project I'm working on. There's this challenge I'm facing. How do you think I can handle it? What do you think we can do? Lifetime access, so long as you have taken part of our program. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it is beyond, it is difficult, it is complex. We will break it down. If that's your fear, don't worry. If it is about, if I learn it, where will I see job? Don't worry, we have it ready. Do you get? If it's about, okay, when I get the job, what if I have problem? Who will I ask? You can come back. What if I'm on the training and I have issues? There's technical support session. See, that's why I said in the beginning, the reason why we are here is to provide premium tech education for Africans. And you don't want to miss on this. You don't want to miss at all. You don't want to miss this offer. Thank you very much, Ugochukwu, by the way, for saying that you are willing to join. Our next session is meant to start in the month of September, on the 7th of September, right? And here you also have one of the benefits of joining Nebient Analytics course. You'll get references and recommendation letter to anywhere. Any organization that needs reference letter, you can come back to ask. You're definitely going to get it. Now, one thing I like to tell people, or that I always tell people, is that the best time to start tech is yesterday, or was yesterday. After yesterday, the next best time for you to start is today, not tomorrow. So what you want to do is basically register. When you register, you attain all the technical prowess, all the technical skills that you need, that is required And then you are able to apply to jobs and build your personal brand. And then after that, you get your first tech job. I mean, it's just as simple as that. So our next tech program, data science program, is starting on the 7th of September. 7th of September. You don't want to miss it. Now, this is where I said I was going to give you my special offer. Ideally, the price for this program is 320,000 naira, and this is like a market price that is standardized. But Nebiant Analytics has done so well to ensure that you get a discount, and your discount is 250,000 naira. Now, the question is, why are we paying 250,000 naira? I've mentioned everything in the beginning. I've told you everything, aside the class, the 7 different things that you're going to also enjoy and get as part of our program. But we're not even waiting for you to pay everything at once. You can pay first 150,000 and then follow up with 100,000. The best thing that you can do is lock down your spot by paying the first 150,000 first. Get started, and then you can sort out, 100,000 a month after your program. Like I said, when is the best time for you to start? Yesterday. Why? Tech is about positioning. Tech is about positioning. If you don't position yourself in the right place, trust me, you can learn on your own and keep learning for 1 year, for 2 years. I promise you. Another thing that you want to also know is that, for example, there are people on LinkedIn that have not gotten any job at all, while there are people on LinkedIn that are also getting jobs. Tech is about positioning. So you want to position yourself well so that you are in a space where everything that is coming, it's likely to pass through you. I always tell people that if it is going to rain, for example, and there's no water around your area, around your vicinity, and you notice that it wants to rain, what will you do? Take your bath. You take it outside and position it under, all right, so that rain can drop. Water can drop. You are going to get enough of water. But if you don't position yourself in that case, you're not going to get water. That's the same thing as tech. So if you want to position yourself rightly, you ought to have started before now. Now that you've not started and there's an opportunity for you to start now, what you want to do is take that opportunity. If you don't have 250,000, it's fine. Pay 150 first. Start. It's a discount. Start the first installment, get the experience, because that's what matters. If you start September, October, November, all right, by December you are done. January, in fact, from November, you should start expecting jobs. Why? Because by November, you would have done your CV assessment, you would have done interview preparations as well, you would have done some projects that you will put in your CV, all right? You would have done some projects that you will put in your CV as your portfolio. By November, you should have covered Microsoft Excel, you should have covered SQL, you should have covered Tableau, to a very reasonable extent, Python. So, I mean, from that point, you can start. You should have gotten enough courage to get started as a full-fledged data scientist. I mean, so if you waste November, September, I don't know, the discount might not apply in October. The discount might not apply in October. And now consider the time that you are taking in thinking about it. Let me think about it. So if there's any challenge, what you want to do, what I would advise you to do, drop, my colleague is on the call. He will reach out to you and any other person that is interested in taking the discount now. Anyone that is interested in taking the discount now. So you can see the transition, the movement, the trend, how we have taken the class from showing you to now telling you the benefits, and all of that. So these and more are what you stand to gain in being part of the Nebiant Analytics Data Science program. Like I said, and I will keep saying, the best time to start was yesterday. Since you've not started yesterday, the next best time is to take the opportunity now and start. All right? So that will be all for this evening. Finally, I'll just tell you Of course, these are some of our success stories being featured on Tech Cabal and the Business Day newspaper. All right, you can, when we share the slide with you, you're going to see them and you can go through and read. Okay. So last and finally, I want to also implore you to follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You are going to have this lesson, I'm sure, will be uploaded on the YouTube channel as well. Follow us on Instagram as well as LinkedIn at Nebiant Analytics. All right, so that will be my time with you this evening. I hope that you have enjoyed the class so far. If you have enjoyed the class, just give me a thumbs up so that I'm sure that I am not alone. Okay, George, great, great. Benjamin, okay, great. All right, Olakunle, okay, yes, let's have you. Okay, that was a thumbs up. Oh, great, interesting. So guys, I mean, this is just it. This is just it. One of the reasons why you should choose tech is just simply because you're able to work multiple jobs. You're able to work from home, work-life balance, attractive salary, and it is good. But the most important for me, I don't know about you, for me, is that I get to create solutions, real solutions, and affect organizations. Imagine what we just learned in how many minutes. If you are going to apply this thing to any organization, tell me that when they are experiencing or having any challenge, they won't want to hear from you first before they make any decision. That's one of the biggest flex being a data scientist. Your organization wants to hear your voice before they decide. Should we put in that advert? Should we put in that discount? Would it affect our sales? And all of that. You're literally giving solutions to people. So guys, that's my time with you this evening. I don't want to take your time further. Like I said, you should take the discount now. My colleague on the call will also be reaching out to you. And if you have not filled the attendance form, please ensure that you fill the form so that you can get access to everything that we have shared this evening. Thank you very much for joining. Enjoy your night rest. Bye for now.